A scripture is found in Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse number 14. For the Lord thy God walketh in the midst of thy camp to deliver thee and to give up thine enemies before thee. Therefore shall thy camp be holy, that he see no unclean thing in thee and turn away from thee. I want to speak very quickly from leave it outside. Leave it outside. At every company I was employed, whenever one of the executives from the corporate office was visiting, special attention was given to making sure the work environment was clean and tidy. The idea behind this scurry to get things in order was that they didn't want the executive seeing anything that would cause him or her to have an unfavorable view towards our office. It was the will of the corporate office that it measured up to a specific standard of presentation. And so we paid the utmost attention to carrying out that will when someone from corporate came by to visit. Our text in 23:14 is part of a long list of stipulations regarding God's will for living in the promised land, beginning at Deuteronomy 12:1. And while we are not under the stipulations of Moses, there are two principles in this text that I believe apply today. Number one, God is moving in our midst. Whenever God brings you out of bondage and establishes you as his people, and he takes residence among the camp of those who call him Elohim Yahweh, then he can't help but move among the midst of his people. And he moves among our midst to deliver us. And I don't know what you're going through right now, but I came here this morning to be delivered from some stuff that's been trying to pull me down, that's been trying to block my path. And he also says that I'm moving in your midst to defeat your enemies before your face. In other words, I'm going to give you victory while you're watching. Because there are some victories we receive that God don't let us see. But God said, what I'm about to do next in your life, I'm going to give you a 3D front row seat to how I work it out, that every enemy and every adversary and every hater in your life that thought they could stop the will and plan of God for your life, he's going to pull a table up right there before the presence of your enemies, and he's going to let them watch you be blessed from on high. The second thing we see is God is moving in our midst. But number two, before I take my seat, God's house must be kept holy. In other words, wherever God is, not only must there be ethical holiness, no sin, but there must also be majestic holiness, no spot, no wrinkle, and no blemish. Because if he sees anything indecent, he says that I will turn away from you. And I don't know what fears you had before you came up in here. I don't know what doubts you had before you came up in here. I don't know what unbelief you had before you came up in here. But the word on today is leave it outside. Because I don't want you messing up the miracle that I came to receive from God. Because he's moving from pew to pew and sanctuary to sanctuary. And you might block God before he gets to me. But the devil is a liar. Because great is our God and greatly to be praised. So you ought to touch three people and tell them, leave it outside, leave it outside.